All right, everybody, greetings and welcome to the show. Check this shit out. We are reclined as an MFer, and we are happy to be joining you. Just a reminder, if you are on the watch party on either Keith's or my page, head over to the show page, because if you comment, all the comments will appear right here. So we want to see your comments, and we want to comment on those, but the only way we can do that is if you comment. So welcome to this show is a JK from the brand new live reclined set. I'm Jason Tudor. That guy over there is Keith Pinnell. We are happy you are with us today, and we are happy that you have decided to join us. We have both worn red.
We have. I wore mine because I was at a different event before I came to
some sort of OU
to your
social
home.
or something?
No. I just wanted to be warm. I hate being cold. You know that about me now.
Yeah,
and
you do.
I have jeans on, and I have a nice OU pullover on. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass.
Kiss my ass. All right, that's fair.
All right.
And there's Nathaniel popping in with a comment at 9. There's Ray. Hello, Ray. People popping in saying, we see their pictures too. That's pretty cool.
You know what? I let me give credit where credit is due.
All right.
You redid this whole thing.
I did.
And you computerized it, and we can see the comments on
Yes.
the big TV screen.
We can.
And see our mugs, and we can look and turn like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just two dudes talking about whatever we want to talk about.
This is ultimately where we want it to be, I think. Just sitting around.
Yeah.
Now, Keith's not drinking any beer, but I am. I'm drinking some very good Belgian beer. But he usually will drink a beer, but he was at a thing, and he's got to drive and all that shit. So, anyway, welcome to the show. Let's get to sponsors. Don't forget about my book, and I'm not holding one. How dumb is that? I'm not going to get it, though. Seven from the System is available for you. It is available on Amazon.com. It is $6.99 for the print one, $4.99 for the Kindle one. And I would really appreciate if you buy a copy. Because
Great book.
It makes me feel really good. And it's 150 pages. It's an airline commute read, and you can get through it pretty quickly. You can get through it probably in an afternoon. Stories about cooking and chocolate and all sorts of interesting things that are not science fiction-y. They're just very topical, so I think you'll really enjoy those. And so pick up your copy today. That's 7 from the System on Amazon.com. I also have stories in The Undead That Save Christmas, and the one that my friend Stacey Graham did, No Rest for the Wicked. That is available to you as well. So if you like books, go buy all three of those. They're really good. Our second sponsor is, of course, AaronCustomer.com, who you heard if you were in the pre-show. Aaron is a fantastic, wonderful musician. He's a brilliant guitarist. He's just one of the most brilliant guitarists I've ever heard. I wish he were a guitar hero. But he has got a new single out. It's called Breathless. It is streaming now. He would love for you to go listen to that on Spotify or wherever you absorb your music. And you can do that right now. He's been pitching it all week. I was fortunate enough to be able to do the album art for that. It turned out really wonderfully. I'm very happy with it. So I hope you'll get a chance to listen to that and join in on that. And so who am I forgetting now? Who's the sponsor? Who's the other one?
The comic book.
I always forget the other one. Yeah.
The comic book.
I'm sorry, Dan. It's been a big day. I mean, I did all this today. So, anyway, the last sponsor is Long John Comic by my friend Dan Bethel, which is a brilliant Western comic. And it is a lot of fun to read. And it's really cool to read because it combines these elements of Western with supernatural, with Dan's cool storytelling. And it is just a real treat to read. Pick it up. Volume 4 is out now. It's $8. You can get the other 3 volumes. I think they're also on sale. Dan has posted every single page that he's done online. So if you go to longjohncomic.com, you can get every single page of every comic he's ever done. He's a great writer. He's a professor of writing at UC Sacramento. He does great work. So don't forget to pick up his new comic book in volume right now.
And while we're at it, before we go any further, you can see the writing down below. This will be our last show for until 2 weeks.
Correct.
2 weeks.
Correct.
Because he's going on vacation.
That I am.
And nobody wants to listen to me back.
The stream just dropped. I wonder what happened there. Dropped frames. Hopefully we'll get that back.
Okay.
Sorry if you're suddenly, all of a sudden, it's going haywire.
He was doing so well.
It was doing very well.
How do you tell?
See the bit rate up there? It should be right around 3,000. It's at 300 right now, so that's not good. And I'm not sure what happened to somebody streaming something or what. Anyway, so we've got a big show, and we may go over on this show because this will be the last show for a while. So we'll give you a little bit of extra show if we can. I'm going to check and make sure that the server hasn't been turned on, so we can but say something clever.
In the meantime, let's see. Let's talk college football real quick.
All right, go ahead. That'll be a good way to start.
That's right. So the Pac-12 has said that they will only do in-conference games for the fall sports season.
Okay.
The Ivy League said they will only do in-conference fall sports.
Okay.
So I think that is the ball rolling. I honestly believe that there will not be fall sports this year in college and probably in the pros as well.
I think we're getting closer to that. I think we keep getting closer to the notion that fall sports are not going to happen. I was going to talk about how Buster Posey has opted out because he fears for the health of his kids in baseball. So you're getting more and more people who are not wanting to have this whole thing.
What I said was the Ivy League and the Pac-12 have both said.
If you're on the page, make a comment so we can see it. Just a little shout out or something.
Have both said that they are doing in-conference fall sports only.
Right.
So you won't get the what would have been, let's see, Pac-12, UCLA, Oklahoma, or USC, Oklahoma, like we did last year.
There's Dad. Thanks, Dad.
But you will always get, thanks, Dad, you will always get the in-conference. So you'll get USC, UCLA in the Pac-12. You'll get UCLA, Colorado, whatever teams are in the Big 12, or the Ivy League with the Harvard and the Princeton.
Well, our Ivy League's out. They're not playing.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Pac-12 has amended its schedule to say we're going to play only games in conference, like you discussed. I think both are interesting. Hi, Terry. Good to see you. Terry, MIT grad. That's kick-ass. And she works at the Library of Congress. Kick-ass.
What is the nickname of the MIT football team?
I have no idea. What is it? Do they have a team? Terry, do they have a team? So,
I'm pretty sure they don't have a team.
I think this, and we've had this discussion, you know this, folks, but I think this goes to what we've been discussing for a while, which is we're seeing a slow de-evolution of sports. Or not de-evolution. I'm tired. We're seeing this whole process being degraded. Right, we started out with we're going to have a season, and we Phyllis Davis. Hi, Phyllis. We started out this process with they're going to do it, and they're going to close stadiums. They're going to do this. They're going to do this. They're going to do this. And now what we're seeing is the Beavers are engineers. There you go. Got your answer right there. That's pretty cool. What we're seeing is, like Buster Posey, like I mentioned before we went into total data fragmentation, Buster Posey has opted out. And he said, I'm not doing it because I think my kids will be in danger if I come back with the coronavirus. I got it. It's not going anywhere. So kudos to him. That is akin to me to Sandy Koufax not pitching on Yom Kippur. That's great news. But I think you're seeing more and more great players going, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Now, that said, all the other sports are expected to, I think, start this weekend, actually. I think like basketball is getting close and everybody's getting close. So we'll see where it goes. But, and NASCAR is driving. Golf is playing. So it's not entirely out. But with the Ivy League killing it and the Pac-12 saying we'll only do it in conference, it goes back to it's like a strike shortened season, right?
Exactly.
Or it's, you get these scabs who come in and play. Well, you don't want to see them play. You don't want to see guys who wouldn't make the practice squad play football. You want to see Dak Prescott and all the players play football. So to me, it's pretty endemic of the situation with COVID. I saw a map today that said something along the lines of there's like no countries letting Americans in anywhere.
No, there's not.
If you're from the United States, we're from here, so part of the reason we're not doing two shows next week is because my family and I are going on vacation. The climate within the European community is fine, but we have to take like a phone bill, we have to take a lease, we have to take our passports, we have to take things that say we live here in Europe with you. I never like to be specific, but I think people know we live in Germany. But we live here in Europe with you, and we are, we're fine.
Right, and that's that. But and we can go. If we need to, we can go to the U.S.
Once again, if you're on either Keith's page or my page for the watch party, switch over to the show page, make some comments so we know you're here, And that way we know. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but just so we know, because I see we had up to 15 viewers, and I know they want to comment more than that. But anyway, go over to the show page and make your comments. Otherwise, we won't see them.
So we live here in Europe. We can go back to the States.
Right.
But even though we live here in Europe, if we come back after being in the States for 48 hours,
Right.
we have to quarantine in our homes for 14 days.
Right.
And I just know our boss, and he's probably listening, that if I did that he'd probably put me to work while I was in quarantine. So
it's tough. It's a tough situation. There's kids who've got to go to college. You've got to go home. People want to see their families, right? And this is a difficult situation, and you have to be able to do that. So I commend the Ivy League for not playing. I commend Pac-12. I commend the amendments. With as bad as I mean, the media portrayal is bad enough, but my sense is it's pretty bad as it is, and I think that I think even what businesses are starting to do is, there may not be a mask ordinance, but we as a business won't serve you unless you come in with a mask.
you segued nicely.
My segue.
My dad has put this on Facebook, his page, so I don't feel bad about talking about it. My mother had to go to the ER yesterday morning at about it was about 4:00 Arizona time. First of all, they live in Arizona, which is one of the worst states in the country right now. Second of all,
I forgot they live in Arizona. I keep thinking they live in Oklahoma.
No, they moved out to Goodyear, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix, and they had to take her to the ER. She is still in the ER more than 24 hours later because there are no beds available anywhere but the ER. Now, it's not a life or death emergency, but it's something that needs to be taken care of pretty darn quick, and they can't move her out of the emergency room because there's no place to move her in this hospital. So that's what fires me up, and I'm not going to go on a rant. I promise.
You're already ranting.
No, it's just that's what fires me up when these people say, "Oh, it's just the media making numbers up, or it's not real, or it's a name your political party, that kind of thing."
Joe Finkelstein from my good friend from Macon, Georgia. Good to see you, Joe. Welcome to the podcast.
Is it Steen or Stein?
I think it's Stein. I always mess up I before E pronunciations. I don't know what it is.
Well,
Either way, Joe, thank you for coming.
A year ago, I learned that, and I'm going to be 50 in 2 weeks. I was a year ago old when I learned that the second vowel gets pronounced.
Second vowel. In general, yeah.
In general, yeah.
I think the note that I saw earlier today was that all the Houston hospitals are full up.
I saw that too.
That's Houston. That's the fourth or fifth largest populous city in the United States. They're full up. You can curve this however you want, but people are getting sick with a disease that has no vaccine, with a disease that leaves ravaging effects when you've had it, with your lungs, with other things that for a time the military wasn't even allowing people in the service for. And you can say what you want, but the problem is, that's the way it is. All right, let's talk about this. Let's see if it's up there. There it is. Oh, sorry, I got to clear off the soundboard so you don't see that. A little bit of the technical insight of this show is a JK. That's how we make the magic.
They can see that too?
They can see that now too. That is the headline from CNN. It's just the one I picked. It's not my all-time news, but it says Tucker Carlson's top writer resigns after secretly posting racist and sexist remarks online. So apparently he's been doing this for 5 years.
Not Tucker Carlson.
Not Tucker Carlson, his writer. His writer's name is, I wrote it down.
In this day and age, why would anybody think they could do that and it not be found out?
So he's been writing under a pseudonym under, places like 4chanB and other places where you spread hates anonymously. But somebody sniffed him out. And he's been doing this for 5 years. And the stuff that's on the CNN page, let me see if I could scroll up without killing us all here. Let me see here. It's on this side. Blake Neff. Oh, have I heard that name before? I hope he wasn't a Dinfos grad. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
Here's what he said. Here's some of the things he said. I'll let you read them on the screen. I'm not going to repeat them. But look at that third paragraph. Look, if you're inclined to say these things, then that's what you're inclined to say. But would you let a jet black... I'm not even going to read the rest. If you feel that way, you're probably not going to change. It's not going to be... what's the movie with Edward Norton?
American X?
American X.
American History X.
American History X, where he sort of changes his coat and turns into... That's probably not what you're going to do. You're probably going to stay like this. And if you're like this, cool. Just let me know so we don't have to associate with one another. But if you are not like this, then that's great. But this guy's been doing it for 5 years, and he's the head writer for this guy's show. And this guy... So we had a discussion about this in the car. And we talked about like Tucker Carlson, Rachel Maddow, basically anything that appears after, say, 7 p.m. on Fox, CNN, MSNBC. Those programs are entertainment.
That's it.
They're not news. They're not fact. They're not philosophy. Those programs are entertainment. Period. End dot.
If they go to a
beer.
specialist...
I wonder if I can text Annabelle to bring me a beer from this.
Text Annabelle.
Right.
What's it called? I'm losing my words here. When they go to a subject matter expert...
Oh, a pundit.
A pundit, yes. When they go to a pundit, all that is that person's opinion.
Right.
That it may be an informed opinion if they're a former general or something like that, but it is still their opinion based on their opinion.
That's right. And the problem that we have in the media that we've had for a while is pundits asking the opinion of pundits about news. I heard from so-and-so that this is the fact. So you asked a pundit about their opinion of another pundit, and you think that's factual information. That's horseshit, you know?
That is exactly right. So when now there are times, say, when we cross the line and go to war, cross the line of demarcation and go to war.
Right.
You know, then you have your generals who have been there, done that, and that's factual information.
Terry, I don't disagree that change can happen, and I'm sure it can. The challenge on change a lot of the time in these cases is people know they're cornered. People know that their life's at stake, their business is at stake, their living is at stake, and they're like, okay, I'll change. But they wouldn't have been that inflection if that inflection hadn't come upon them. But you know, maybe this guy will change. His name sounds really familiar, Blake Neff. I'm gonna have to look that dude up. I can't figure out why that is.
I bet he's married to a Karen.
Did you hear about the Karen Act in San Francisco?
No.
So San Francisco, if you're not aware, I don't have that headline up here, but we were talking about that today too. San Francisco has an act where they're essentially, I think it's just to stop bullying, right? It's or to stop if you do this sort of, I see a black person and I'm going to call the police. It's kind of like doxing, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
So they enacted the Karen Act. Well, a couple of women named Karen actually asked to speak to the manager about this thing. And we're like, why does it have to be called the Karen Act? Now, it's spelled like Caran. And I don't know that there's a...
And you know that was thought about too. Well, if we call it a Karen with a
right. But somebody still wanted to speak to the manager, man. And that's just like, are you serious, really?
I don't know who's cooking what, but we've got the windows open here.
We do.
And that smells really good.
Well, I had to open the windows earlier. The way that the breeze moves through here is very nice. So, but anyway, yeah. So the writer, yeah. I don't. Again, Terry, I don't disagree. People could change, and that's great when they do, when they sort of see the terminus of all this hateful shit I've been doing for decades. I need to stop that. Get it? Totally get it. But on the other hand, most people only do it when they're absolutely cornered, and that's a shame for that.
I'll tell you what, I had to have a talk, or somebody had to have a talk with me last year before I moved here, because somebody in my core group accused me of, that's your white privilege showing through.
Yeah.
And I said, fuck you. I don't have white privilege. My grandfather picked cotton right next to black people. He was blind and ran a county courthouse because of vocational rehab. My dad joined the military at 19 years old. I have diabetes, so that helped pay for my college.
I found something for your dad today, by the way, but go ahead.
Keith, what the way you grew up does not mean you have white privilege.
Right.
White privilege, as it was explained to me, is if I go knock on a stranger's door because I am a white male, they feel more at ease answering the door for me
Right.
than they would even a white female, but especially a black male or a black female. And just easily and slowly explaining it to me like that made me think, oh, shit. Okay.
I think it's important to be able to comment where you have expertise and you can comment. I think it's important when you comment without any sort of gravitas of the situation. You're just spitting words into the air because you saw something on the news or you observed a situation and you somehow processed that, and that's the conclusion you came to. There are a lot of things. I mean, I grew up when we first moved back to the States in California. I grew up in an area called Emerald Hills. I went to an elementary school where I was one of 2 white boys who went to the school. Every day I walked home from school, I got my ass beat. Almost every day. That's an exaggeration, but pretty much every day I walked home from school and I got my ass beat. Does that mean, did that leave me with any sort of hateful taste in my mouth? No. Does that mean I could comment on the situation? No. But that's something I recall. But I also recall that my best friend at the time was a guy named Everett who lived 3 houses down from me. And he's like, I'm going to take care of you. Don't worry about it. I get your situation. We're good. And he did. And I'll never forget that. And I don't know what happened to him, but I'll never forget that. I think he was like a junior high or a high school kid. He's like, I got you. Don't worry about it. And it was like maybe 3 months later, but I wasn't bothered after that. So I think it's important that I can't comment on that. I can only say that I try to treat people on merit. I try to treat people as I meet people. If I don't, I mean, I can't judge somebody I don't know. I can't base character on something I haven't had that experience. That would be dumb.
Right.
That would be really dumb. Why would I do that? But if I've had the opportunity to work with you or, pull a rope with you or whatever, move an oar with you, to use that analogy, great. That's my litmus test. That's my, that guy's, I'm good with that guy. Right.
Right.
That's it. That's all I need to know. Because in this life, it's the effort you make and the consistency of that effort that that really matters. And it doesn't matter what color your skin is. It only matters that we sort of get each other through this thing. And COVID, it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've been broadcasting. Yeah. So it is time to say this show. This show is a JK with your pals Jason and Keith. We are sitting in recliners on our brand new set. Most of this shit in the back was here. I did a little rearranging. There's Captain America's head here. Here's a Vorpal advertisement there. This is a B-Wing fighter. Mostly I keep that up there for my friend Mike. There's a really good picture of Annabelle. There is Alfie the Duck from our Commander reading story. So we have a set decor going on. We've got some better lighting coming in soon. What I would say during this little break is please subscribe on iTunes or Spotify, wherever you pick up your podcasts. Right there, that's what it says. But you can get us on Spotify. You can get us on radio.com. You can get us on TuneIn Radio. You can get us on a lot of different places. So what we would just appreciate if you would pick one of those, subscribe, and comment. If you comment on iTunes, it helps move our podcast up the chain so we can be... so more people can consume us, and then we really like that. So
I like being consumed.
Everybody likes being consumed.
So,
but
I was talking with a friend last night.
I think I hear another beer coming. Go ahead.
Oh, and shall we wait? Shall we?
No, go ahead.
Play by play.
Go ahead, because she might want to pop on and say hi. We'll see.
Okay. Hang on.
You're the best. Do you want to be on camera?
Thanks.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you bring me one?
He's kidding.
I
love you.
I'm kidding.
Sorry to interrupt you. I
He
really
loves you.
appreciate it. That's Annabelle, everybody, bringing me a new beverage.
Yes.
Which was
All
very
right.
nice of her.
So I was talking with a friend last night, and we started off talking about 90 Day Fiance. Which
Oh,
is
yeah.
the show.
You wanted to talk about this. That's
right. And a friend was showing us clips.
Joe,
about
watch
them.
wherever you could see our beautiful faces moving on the page. It's fine. The bit rate's still good, so it might just be frozen for a second or something else, but the bit rate's good and no dropped frames
Well, he
at this
started-
point. Joe's very technical, so I wanted to get no dropped frames in it at this point anymore, and we got a good bit rate right now, Joe. So it may just be something else. So thank you, Dad. I'll pass it on to her. She loves you very much.
So 90 Day Fiance.
Wait, weren't you going to talk about the other thing?
I was.
Right.
But so we started off talking about 90 Day Fiance, which I don't think I'm going to watch because it's just another one of these bachelor type whatever the hell shows. But
Joe, keep 2 tabs open. One so you can comment and one so you can watch.
there you go. Or 5. 5 tabs is always good too. So she was telling me about this show called My Strange Addiction. My Strange Addiction, which is different things. But the one I was shown was this lady who eats cat hair. Yeah, I forgot. I didn't tell you about it.
It's an addiction, and I'm sorry, but that just struck me funny.
Hold on.
All right.
And she was talking about, oh, yeah, she'll pick it off the carpet. She'll pick it off the couch.
Wow.
She'll groom the cat and pick it off there and run. It's just like cotton candy. I'll just pop it into my mouth and
Cotton
eat it.
candy.
That's what she said. And then she said, and sometimes I will groom my cat with my tongue. He loves it. He purrs. And I'm just watching this video going, looking at my friend going, what the fuck?
Hey, Terry, did you say something after for what it's worth? Because Joe said, dang Terry, but I don't know what you said, so we want to be in on this comment. So I don't think Terry eats cat hair, but I'm sure that's not what it is.
You have 3 cats. Have once in your life of owning these cats thought of grooming the cat with your tongue?
I want them to be lost in the Black Forest at this point. I can't stand them.
Or picking up some cat hair and popping it in your mouth.
So that is, I totally dig the premise of the show. Okay. No, I know you didn't. It was humor. Art. So there's a great comedian. Her name's Natasha Leggero. She's kind of an actress, but she started stand-up. She's pretty funny. She said in her bit, she was talking about strange addictions, and she said she watched a show where somebody would eat the foam out of the couches. So they would unzip the seats and eat the foam out of that. Now, did you ever eat Play-Doh as a kid?
No.
I did. I totally ate Play-Doh. It's good. It's salty. Don't even comment.
I will not say a word because you set all this up.
Sorry, it's frozen, everybody. I'm not sure what's going on. The bit rate is solid. So on our end, it looks good. And we're monitoring the live broadcast too. So it may just be an internet provider issue or something. We very much apologize. But we appreciate that you're watching. So keep at it. Eats foam out of the couch cushions to me, which is startlingly weird. I should say it's weird. I mean, it is what they're addicted to. That's not the right thing to say, but I get it.
Right after I got married and my then wife joined the Air Force, our first assignment was to Offutt, just outside Omaha. And we lived in they were built in the late 40s townhomes that are no longer there on base. And our neighbor would, this is making my stomach roll just thinking about it. She would pick her scabs and eat her scabs.
Okay, Ray and PJ are saying it's good in Texas.
Okay.
So it's probably just a provider issue. Sorry, you guys.
Run it in, y'all.
We really do appreciate it. So
I can hear Joe's Georgia accent in his typing.
Joe's fantastic. I worked with him at in Georgia on a couple of things. I love Joe.
Good. So she would pick her scabs off whatever arm, whatever, and just like she was eating a Tic Tac.
I know somebody like that. Yeah. Or I did. When I was younger, I definitely know somebody like that.
Ooh.
All right, so I wrote this one down, and I wanted, remember, it has to be show friendly.
Yes.
You're out of topics?
I am.
You're gonna have to think some up.
Damn.
All right, so show friendly. What's the biggest lie you've ever told?
6 inches. 8 inches. I mean.
I knew it was gonna be something like that.
No, biggest lie I ever told. Show friendly.
Yeah. No, we love Joe. We're not picking on him, PJ.
Not picking on...
Joe is the man.
I'll pick on you, PJ. You shut the hell up.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
Strange Addictions is weird, Terry. We agree with you totally.
I think I'm sure it had to do with school and school grades and that kind of thing. I keep sliding.
You don't have a specific one?
I think I changed the grade on a report card.
I've never done that, and I had good grades, but I only had one.
Well, it was only,
I had a really shitty grade in algebra 2, I think in 9th or 10th grade. It was an F actually.
And I'm sure
I just went to summer school.
My dad's probably listening, but he was TDY at the time. So I think I changed a D- to a D+, and said, hold on, and said, the techer told me I was only 1 point away or 2 points away from a C.
You changed a plus to a minus. That's all. That's as aspirational as you got.
You don't know.
Because I would have been like, oh, that's a D. It looks like a B. I think I can reshape that bitch into a B.
I couldn't do that because it was on.
I could totally do it.
Matrix printer at the time.
I could totally do it.
No, there have been other things where I have stretched the truth, but no, PJ, I won't kiss your ass. But
I will, PJ. Bring it up here.
Keep drinking beer.
Yes,
no, my parents raised me as a good kid, and for the most part I was, and I don't want to say I was a square or anything because PJ's seen me show my ass literally and figuratively more times than I care to count. But as far as an out-and-out lie, what was yours?
All right, so this probably isn't the biggest one, but it is show friendly. All right.
Okay.
So when I was younger, we lived in a place called Point Loma, California. This was, let me think, was this Point Loma? Yeah, it must have been Point Loma. No. This was a place in Spring Valley, California. So this was right after I moved into an area where I went to Monte Vista High School. So Spring Valley is a big community where in the 80s, a lot of Navy people would go because it was affordable. So we had this giant house at a place called Mac Lane. And it was a big, big house. And it was right around the time that my stepfather and my mother decided they were going to have a couple more kids. And that, of course, got my sister Kim and my other sister Lindsay born. Anyway, around that time, we had, I don't know how this came about, we had a sliding glass door. And at some point, I decided to grab onto the drapery bar and somehow swing up. But anyway, I broke the sliding glass door. And it was like tempered glass, so it broke into like a million pieces, but it stayed there. Right? So it didn't break like it broke like cracking.
You just reminded me of something. Go ahead.
So I was like, well, maybe I can get away with this. So basically what I did was shut the curtains. I shut the curtains, and I thought, fuck it, it'll be fine, right? So my dad usually got home first. He worked at a place called Roar Industries, and then he worked a couple of other places. But so my dad got home first, and he didn't see it. But I'm sure he wondered like why the curtains were closed. But I mean, it doesn't matter. But then my mom came home. She opened the curtains and was like, "What the fuck is this? What did you do?" She was pissed. I mean, she was off her shit, right? So my dad comes down. I got beat with a belt, the whole thing. And I was like, I forget what I said. I think somebody threw a rock at it or something, right? I think it's somebody like through our backyard, through another house, from a street that's like 300 yards away. I think they threw a rock at it. She's like, I don't think she bought it because I think I got beat again for that.
You just reminded me.
So that's one of the bigger lies I've told.
I was out. Let's see. I was at my second radio station, so this was after 1992.
Right.
In Altus, I was visiting somebody. I don't want to say. Okay, they were family. In small town Oklahoma, and I was driving her car, so she could underage drink.
Yep.
I just happened to be drinking as well. We're on country roads in BFE, Oklahoma, right?
BFE.
And I'd finished my beer.
Which is like, we need to talk about all the Indian lands that the Supreme Court just gave back.
I saw
that's
a
in
little
BFE.
bit on that.
Yeah, all right, go ahead.
This is way up in northwest Oklahoma, the
BFE.
Panhandle. And
there's a BFE.
I finished my beer. I had the window down.
Right.
But surprise, surprise, I was getting chilly.
Yeah.
I rolled the window up and I went to just throw the bottle out the window on the country road.
Okay, so if you're watching and you've got like a biggest lie that you want to share in the comments, do that now so we could talk about them. Just do like a 4 or 5 word synopsis, like, broke important thing mom gave me, and we'll chat about that as they come up on the screen. All right, so if you have a lie, if you have a good lie, throw that up there and let's see what you got so we can chat that up, because I have some bolder lies.
Yeah, I was younger, I don't know the statute of limitations.
No, I'm good. Both the parents that raised me have passed, so I mean that's not a past, have died, but so I mean I think I'm good on statute of limitations. He said, I crashed a drone in the classroom against a wall and left a hole. That's right, he's a teacher, I forgot. Immediately moved the emergency exit map to cover it. Figured I'd buy a couple of months until it was discovered by me. Okay, that's a good one, Joe. I like that one a lot. Joe. Well done. That is, I like that. But see, you did it. Technically, you crashed a drone. That's a good deal. I like that a lot.
Yeah, there's no...
Terry, if you're still here, you've got to have a good lie. I mean, right? Is there a good like MIT scale lie somewhere in there that you might have? You're listening to this show is a JK, by the way, with your friends Jason and Keith, just to keep you up to date. All right, as people are sending in their lies, let's look at this, which is Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith did confirm their involvement with August Alsina. Now, you saw that and were like, the fuck are you talking about? So this is a big...
I thought August Alsina was a company.
Right, or Alsina. So this is a big deal because the headline really takes away from what was the sort of the story, which was a couple weeks ago, it was discovered that Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith have an open relationship. So Will Smith supposedly gave his permission for Jada Pinkett Smith to go do whatever with August Alsina. Which is
a picture of him?
Which is alliteration. I don't know. Let's scroll down and see. La 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 la. I have to scroll. Hopefully, people are typing in their lies so we can see them on the screen when we come back to the other screen. Let's see. Is there a picture of him? No. And is that him? No, that's Will Smith.
Will and Jada.
That's Tupac. That's Tupac. That is not. Okay, so
are they saying Will Smith had a thing with Tupac?
I don't know. That'd be. I don't know if that's classy or what that is, but. Okay, so I guess it doesn't. I guess it resets every time. So type in. Don't forget to type in your lies. We sort of lost them when we switched screens.
So I don't know if you saw before we went to the other screen that PJ said he has PTSD.
What did you do to him?
Well, it goes back to I mooned people a lot.
I cheated on a marathon once.
Terry,
that's a good one.
Would you take the subway?
Take the car?
Yeah, what? Right at the end?
That's fantastic. That's a good one.
Wow.
If go big or go home, right?
Right.
That's a good one.
Or was it like a military baton death march marathon? or what? I want to know. I want to know, Terry. I have to meet Terry.
Does that violate the MIT integrity code? We're going to have to find that out.
Wow. Is there?
That's a good one.
And why don't we have flying cars yet, this MIT grad?
She's the best. Leave her alone.
She sounds great. And I'm probably going to...
All right, so I bring it up. Steering back to the topic. I bring it up. Continue to type in your lies. We want to comment. I bring it up because... So there is a relationship status now called polyamory, and I'm sure it's existed for a long time, and I'm sure... they closed the bridge. That it's...
Did you just decide, I'm at the closed bridge, this is the finish line?
My running buddy would not get on the straggler bus.
Well,
we do what we must when we have to, right, Cherry? Cheers to that. All right, so the point I'm making is, so the polyamorous relationship is 5 or 6 people, right?
Yes.
And they're sort of having sex with one another. I don't think they're having sex with anybody outside their circle, right?
Right.
Okay, so we figured that out. So I would think that maybe I don't know, it's Hollywood, so it's Gomorrah anyway, but thruples are a new thing on a few, including SWAT. Oh, wow. I don't watch SWAT. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's an interesting that it's Will Smith, because I think he's sort of seen as a paragon of... He's great. He knows how to pick his projects. He knows how to succeed. He knows what to do. So as you can see, the natural light's going away. That's all the light we have over there. But it's working out. He's sort of a paragon sort of
Terry.
He's one of those people who, I think people look to and said, oh yeah, he's married and has a kid and he's made a couple bad movies, but in general, he's chosen really good projects. So I guess I'm bringing this to your attention because I thought it was interesting.
Well, and that family, remember, Jaden has come out as polyamorous.
Okay.
Willow, I believe, is something like that. I think. Don't quote me on that. But now the adults in the relationship are too, and Terry's just a fountain of knowledge, by the way.
She's a very smart person.
Am I surprised? No. Is it something that could I handle in any of my relationships?
Yeah.
Should I have any?
Yeah.
Again, ever?
Most viewers ever, by the way,
probably not.
16. 16 people watching us. Welcome to all 16 of you.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. Again, we're asking what your biggest lie that you want to air. Just put it right up here in the comments. If you have to comment on
They don't see that.
the show page. Yeah, they do.
They see that?
Yeah, that's what's being broadcast. They see it too. So let everybody know what your most, broadcastable lie is. Cheating on a marathon is a good one.
I want to know, with running the marathons, did you have to
I want to know what my
poop your
dad's
pants?
biggest lie is. Probably me. My son is great. That's the lie. That's totally the lie. Believing that I'm great. So there was a thing on Facebook earlier this week that my friend Kim put out. And it was, here are like 71 television shows. Mark the ones that you've watched 10 episodes or more.
Oh, I didn't see 10 episodes.
So I saw people, they were like 12, they're like this, and it's basically the entire smorgasbord of network television. And so when he said SWAT, I was like, oh, that made me think of that. So I went through the list, and I was like, and remember, the caveat was 10 episodes or more, right? So I went through the list, and I'm like, what TV show have I watched 10 episodes or more? And I'm like, the answer was 0. I mean, I think there were like 100 TV shows. I have not watched television in series in a row, with the exception of the first season of Bosch, because I decided to give it a shot. That was the most I've ever watched in a row, and that was the only show ever that I could binge, right? And I got into the second season, I watched 2 episodes, and I stopped. Lies of Omission.
Joe, you're dead to me now.
What did he say? Sorry, hon, I couldn't finish my chores. I had to watch Frozen. Hey, Frozen Keith and Jason is better than In Motion Chores. Put that one on whoever it is, Joe. I'm telling you, it's a good deal. We're a good deal. We are entertaining. We'll make you feel good during the COVID crisis. That is our job. So anyway, 108 shows. There were none. And I think I'm the only one who answered 0. And I answered it honestly because I have not watched, with the exception of like Dee and I will sit and watch House Hunters. Like we'll watch 7 or 8 episodes of House Hunters. But it wasn't on the list. So I thought, okay, I'm cool with that. Right? So House Hunters, we watched, there was a great Jeffrey Epstein documentary, but that was only 5 episodes. The bigger point is, and I was trying to be nice about this, is I don't want to sit for 10 hours and binge. There's other shit I could be doing in those 10 hours, right? And then the comedian Neil Brennan, who, if you don't know, is the co-creator of The Chappelle Show as well, and the co-writer. He was 50% of The Chappelle Show. So if you like The Chappelle Show, he was 50% of it. He also does brilliant stand-up. He's also like a comedian whisperer. He's produced or directed a lot of stand-up shows. Right. He's brilliant. But he also said, okay, because his buddy said, hey, you got to watch Battlestar Galactica. And he's like, okay, so he watched an hour of it. He's like, I hate it. He goes, turns out I don't give a fuck about space problems, which I thought was a funny line. But then he also says, his buddy's like, oh, you got to give it a chance. You got to watch all the other episodes or something like that. And he's like, okay, so there's 6 or 7 seasons. There's this many episodes. And he equated out to like 73 hours. He goes, that's a helicopter pilot's license.
Wow.
So I agree with that. I agree with the notion that there's better shit to do than sitting on your couch for 12 hours and binging a season of whatever, regardless of how interesting it is. I get it. If that's your jam, great. Enjoy that. If that's how you escape, take your mind out of shit, cool. But I can't do that. There's no way. I would be fidgety. I'd be like, even after 3, even with Bosch, I was like, okay, 3 episodes, I need to go do something else.
Well, that's the way I watch.
Right.
I just watched and I didn't mean to start out this way. I thought it was a movie.
Right.
And then it ended up being 10 episodes. The Warrior Nun.
Oh, yeah.
On Netflix.
Yeah.
Just because every time I was watching an episode of Star Trek Discovery, which I enjoyed,
Right.
that would play as a promo. And so I said, okay, let me check this out. I thought it was a movie, and then I get to the end. Oh, you got to be shitting me. I didn't want to start another series, but here I am. And but I watch it over 3 or 4 days, 10 episodes. I was on leave for the week. I watched 10 episodes in 3 or 4 days. And
we did the podcast on golf, and if you haven't heard it, you didn't. What did you think of my play-by-play? By the way,
I thought you were fantastic.
Wasn't I funny?
I didn't realize you were going to be so mean.
Well, yeah, I told you I was going to be mean.
Yeah, but you were really
I
mean.
told you, like, on the 4th hole, you need to step your game up because I am totally destroying you between shots.
You were just mean.
Whatever.
No,
So here's the thing. He says that
again.
He says that, but he also golfed
West Wing's a great
2
show.
or 3 of his best games this week. He had like 94. What else?
I had a 97 on the day you quit early.
Yep.
I had a 94.
So it's me.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I had a 93 on Thursday.
Again, sorry. We did have some drop frames there. Sorry for the frozen screen. I'm not sure what's happening. Again, it's been pretty steady the whole way, so we apologize for any frozen screen you're getting. We're doing the best we can. German internet in the farm country sucks something.
Balls.
Yeah, he said it. So, in other words, so Keith has been off this week. He's played some of his best golf ever. You're welcome, because I haven't played. And so you didn't play today.
I didn't play today. I had something.
But he actually texted me his scorecard. And I'm not sure if that was to say, look, I scored a 94, or as if to say, bring your shit Sunday, dumbass, because I'm kicking it.
The answer is yes. Now watch, I'll go out and have a horrible game tomorrow, right?
Well, if my hip is alive,
well, at least you have a built-in excuse if that's the case.
It's a reason. It's not an excuse. First of all,
tomato.
Fucking OU. So you golfed all week. All right. So I don't know if Stefan's listening. If he's one of the 13 viewers, if you are, Stefan, hi. We're outing you right here for listening. But this was a great topic all week since you were gone. So
me,
I won't get into Stefan's details. But we were talking about things to do in Holland. Right? Or not things to do, but if one were to settle in Holland, what were some of the things you had to sort of get used to, right? So one of the things we discovered is that in Holland, the Netherlands, there is a car tax. I did not know this. There is in Germany too, but since we are here on a status of forces agreement, we're Americans, we're expats, we don't worry about that. That's not our jam at all. Hey, and if you can, it looks like our picture is still good. We're running out of light, and unfortunately our lights are on order. But if our lighting is good, just let us know in the comments too to make sure if you can still see us and we're okay. Just let us know in the comments. It looks like we're
great.
Yeah, it looks like we're okay. We look very orange. We look very orange. I'm not sure if that's the way.
It's Oompa Loompa night.
It is. It is.
It's Oompa Loompa night at the Tudor home.
So anyway, if for those of you in the States, if you're not familiar, so there's an auto tax in the Netherlands, and there's also one in Germany.
Thanks, Rick. So
in Germany, the auto tax is, if our colleague Petra told us correctly, the auto tax is about $140 a year, something around there. If I did the euro exchange rate, it's probably around 100. Actually, it's more like $126, $127 a year. In the Netherlands, we discovered that to own a car all year, one car, and this is like a sedan. This isn't like a Corvette that I want to buy for $50,000 in the Chapel parking lot. If any of you have $50,000,
you're not gonna let that
please send it to me so I can buy a Corvette. This is just like a BMW C-Class, okay? To own a C-Class car in the Netherlands, every year, so I'll just do it by the year, you're paying $1,500.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a beach.
That's a lot of tax.
TV tax, I was going to talk about that in a second, but yeah, $1,500 in the Netherlands just to own a car, and here it's like $100. And I think it has to do with Does it really? Wow, I didn't know that. Ray said, well, if you can read it on screen, but it says the car insurance is more in Japan. It costs more than the price of the car.
Wow.
But in Germany, they manufacture cars, right? There's a Opel plant right next to where we work. Mercedes in Stuttgart, Porsche's in Stuttgart,
Audi,
right?
yeah.
So they make cars. So, I mean, the incentive to making cars is they're not going to tax the shit out of you for buying cars. In the Netherlands, however, they make stroopwafel and a number of other things that are not great beer and or great all sorts of other things, but I don't know that they manufacture cars. So and plus it's a smaller country. They encourage you to be green, and I totally get all that. But not for 1,500 euros a year.
No,
which is again, it's about what I say. It was about $1,700, so it's a little more than that. So 300 times 412. Yeah, it's about $1,400. So it's a lot of money either way.
That's crazy.
So,
and
this is why we left England. Taxes, right?
And us being here under the Status of Forces Agreement, assigned here by the government, by the military,
Right.
helps us a lot because the sales tax on a normal day, they've just lowered it because of COVID.
Right.
But on a normal day, the sales tax is 19%.
What's the VAT?
And
The VAT, but see, the VAT is a different deal. The VAT on merchandise is 19, but on food it's lower.
Right.
And you're taxed on food in the States. Like in California, the tax on food was 8%. The sales tax was 8%, but then some states don't have tax on food and some do.
Right.
So again, your mileage may vary wherever you go in the world, right? And believe me, if I could move to the Netherlands or Belgium tomorrow, I'd be there in a minute. Great place to live. What?
It would make doing the show.
It'd make it challenging, but Keith Ewan was in Belgium, I was in Germany, and Michael Wistock was in California. We still did a show, so. But you just have to you make up the variances, right? If you want to live somewhere, my friend Jake Doherty lives down in Garmisch. He runs a business called All Things Garmisch, although I think he's changing that up. He's lived there for as long as I can remember, at least since 2009 and before that. So he is, he just understands what the different prices are, and you adjust. You don't expect to come into a nation and go, I want to do what the United States does. That's not the same thing.
Oh, but there are
especially like Denmark. I mean, Denmark. They tax it a different way, and that's because when you walk into a hospital, you go in and you get fixed, and you walk out, and guess what? There's no bill. Right. So it's all about how you prioritize different things, and it's just not one of them. So.
So many bikes in Holland, says Terry. And that's it. That's one of the things.
I almost got hit by two of them last time.
They want everybody to go green. Speaking of bikes, this group of people I've kind of been drawn into.
Okay, sorry, we lost sound there for a second. We should be back. I'm not sure what happened there. Sorry about that. But we should be good to go now.
I'll go back to this. A lot of people in this group I've become drawn into have e-bikes.
Bicycle. Well, the sound wasn't on the last time I sang it, so I wanted them to hear me.
It's not any better this time.
God, you're so mean.
I'm making up for the golf game. Anyway, I made myself laugh. Damn.
You made us both laugh.
So the e-bikes, and basically they're a bicycle.
5150 on the time. Had to say that.
That have a battery on it. Now you still have to pedal. You can change the speed on the bike, and it has a little motor on it. You still have to pedal. You can do it slowly,
right,
and still go. I think they clocked it at 27K.
Yeah.
At one point.
In the United States, we used to call those mopeds.
Well, there's that too. Yeah.
Kind of.
But not with the motor.
No. They're good deal. Dad, I've had 2 beers. That's it. But they're 11%, so they're good beers. But I'm not sure how I hit the mute button on that. That was strange. We're sorry about that. Well, this is why, by the way, podcasters have producers. So all they have to do is sit the fuck down on the microphone and talk versus having to worry about, is the sound right? Is the video right? Are you seeing this?
I would feel too pretentious about that. Instead, I'll let you do it.
I'll let somebody else. If I could get like Annabelle to produce, I would, but that's not going to happen.
Fair.
So e-bikes, they're totally cool. I remember when my colleague Mark Winkler bought one when I was in Garmisch, and it was very exciting. And I couldn't figure out why he was as excited as he was, and I get it now, especially with pedaling up some of the hills when I do go biking. But also, e-bikes are fucking expensive. E-bikes are like 2,500 euros.
These that they're
1,500
talking about
euros.
are 1,850.
Yeah, they're no joke.
Which is over $2,000.
Right, and if you get a real like racing bike or a mountain bike, it can cost upwards of $1,500,
Sure,
$2,000. But we definitely need an intern. Fly here and help us, please, Terry. Thank you.
I think maybe I shouldn't be saying this, and if I get in trouble, well, he can come over here and kick my ass. But I think PJ and Ray are trying to get over here for employment.
Hey, I don't know how I'm hitting the mute button on the sound. So just so we're clear, I'm getting ready so we could talk about this week's bracket, and I'm just adjusting some things, and somehow I'm muting the sound. I apologize for that.
You can teach them how
but I'm not like inadvertently doing it. The sound button is this. I mean, it's 6 inches, so I can't like hit it with the mouse. So I don't know how that's happening. I apologize, but we're back, and we're gonna get this technical shit right one day. I promise. I built a fucking set for all of us. You're welcome. So we got that part right. As soon as we get the sound right, you're gonna hear our pristine. Hey, JB's here. Right on. We're gonna. This is gonna be the best show you've ever listened to or watched.
Mime the rest of the show.
Mime? Let me hang on. Let me see if I can do it.
All right, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. He's doing the technical stuff. You can teach him to pee, but you can't teach him to pull his pants down.
That's what it is. It's literally every time Keith talks about PJ. That see,
thanks, Connie.
Connie said the set is nice. My new Facebook
Omaha.
friend Connie said the set is nice.
Yes,
she knows what the fuck she's talking about. See, by the way, this show is NSFW, Connie. I hope that's still okay.
Connie. Well, she grew up with her youngest son and me running around together, so she's heard a word or two. So anyway, are we going to do the bracket, or we still got stuff to talk about?
I don't know. You're out of shit to talk about.
I was out of shit to talk about a long time ago.
I can't believe there's nothing else for you to talk about. I thought we'd go long this week.
There's all kinds of things.
We're not going to be here for 2 weeks. So again, we want to make sure you understand, because there's a lot of people. No, we
sliding down in the chair.
Who gives a shit if we run long? It's our show, and we're not going to do. And we're not going to be here next week. So we know some of you very much count on our podcast, and we really appreciate that. Thank you. But we're not going to do a Tuesday show. We're not doing a next Saturday show. So Tuesday is, what's today? The 18th. Or I'm sorry, the 18th. So 19, 20, the 21st, no show. And then, so the 28th, we're not going to do a show either, I guess.
I think you're a week ahead.
Okay.
This is the 11th.
Okay, so the 11th, so 12, 13, 14. So no show on the 14th, and then no show on the 21st.
Yes.
So no recorded show and no live show, as I will be traveling, and he's going to be at work writing stories. And then we'll come back that next week, and we will have a show, I believe, on the 23rd or whatever. So ignore the date on the bottom. I was a week ahead because I was tired when I wrote it.
One thing I did figure out just by looking up at the screen is I've got to wear pants.
You got to wear pants.
When I do it from home, when we're doing it at our separate houses, it's no guarantee that I have anything on under the desk. You're welcome. And now that, because I'm sitting in a recliner, so I sit in a recliner like I would sit at home, my knees are up.
Yeah, that must be what it is when I switch screens. Okay.
So when he switches screens.
When I switch screens, it for some reason mutes, but we should be back now. Okay, so let's see who turned in predictions. God, that's weird. I wonder why it's muted. All right, so there's Nathaniel's pick. The princess you are looking for is in another castle.
Wow.
There's PJ's pick. Luigi is better than Mario. Ray picked Yoshi. Oh, there's my friend Matt Gowan. Gowan's Folly.
Who has not commented.
There's my dad, Snafu 1964. I think that's my dad. And then Let's Go. So I think we know how people are trending on this bracket. So let's get the party started.
Don't try to read our minds.
No, don't do that.
Yeah, every time we
every time we switch screens, for some reason the sound mutes. We'll get it right, we promise.
We figured out it's not operator error.
So that one's good. All right. So here's the bracket, folks. We had to pick, if we do any bracket that's more than about 12 things, it runs like all night. And this actually might have been an okay bracket to do that for, but we don't want to put you to sleep like that. So any other bracket, we generally put about 12 entries in. The first 4 are play-ins, and then the last 4, at least for my side, are actual no shit. These are the games that need to be beat. So on the left side, you've got Pac-Man versus Mike Tyson Punch-Out, Halo versus Guitar Hero, EverQuest versus Mortal Kombat. And I think it was Matt who said you picked EverQuest over World of Warcraft, which is a good point. Apologies, Matt. And then Legend of Zelda versus Counter-Strike. And then in the top tier games are Madden Football, Space Invaders, Super Mario, and Minecraft. Now, the thing that Keith revealed before we started this party was he's not like a big video game knowledge guy.
I'm not, and I don't know why. I love video games. I played a lot, and there's some games that. Let's talk about the ones that did make the bracket real quick. Things like Galaga, Defender, Zaxxon, things like that. I did a lot in arcades back in the early mid '80s.
Right.
I had the Atari 2600, Joust, things like that. But when it got into Nintendo and then Xbox and all that, I didn't do that.
Right.
And I don't know why. I just never did. Right. Maybe because in those days I was a radio guy and didn't have the money to spend on a Nintendo or something like that.
I see you, PJ. I'm going to make fun of Batman soon, and it's going to make you mad. Problem exists between the chair and the keyboard.
That direction.
See? From your dad, too many buttons and things to remember. No, it just, I didn't set up the other screen for some, it's fixed now. We love you all, but it's fixed now. We're moving on.
Okay.
It's
funny, I was going to bring up Ready Player One later in the bracket, Terry, so get out of my head. You won't like it.
I didn't really care for Ready Player One. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. It's not something I'll go out of the way to watch.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's get
with the bracket.
So let's get started. Okay, we're still not muted. That's good. All right, I think we solved the muting problem. Oh, Jesus. All right, your first one is Pac-Man versus Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Who you got?
Man, you hit the mute button 18 times and people really give you shit.
They should give me shit. Okay. I mean, we're just going hot on the noof.
All right, what was it? Pac-Man and...
It's Pac-Man. Let's go back again. Pac-Man versus Mike Tyson Punch-Out. Do you recall Mike Tyson Punch-Out at least?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, Mike Tyson, I do. And just because of the sheer popularity, everybody from that age to our daughters' ages knows Pac-Man, so I'm going with Pac-Man.
Couldn't agree with you more. Although Mike Tyson was a tremendously popular game.
It was.
It was more popular. How do I vote? So in the future, Terry, we will post the bracket on our Facebook page, on the show's Facebook page. And generally, I'll share it on my page as well.
And mine.
And you can make predictions all week on the bracket. We usually get about, 6 or 7? 1 week we had 26. I don't know what the hell happened there. But usually we get at 6 or 7, sometimes 10 or 12. And then if you can read our minds,
yes,
and the coin flips go your way, you, like Daniel Nathaniel, who should have won like 3 T-shirts by now, and PJ and someone else we don't know, wins a T-shirt. So this is a good thing. We're giving away free show T-shirts that say this shirt is a JK.
Yes.
It's totally cool. And it's a good deal. We're spending our money to take care of our listeners because we love you. All right, so couldn't agree with you more about Pac-Man. I'm going to go ahead and just mark that one now. So you're going to see live how we actually have to update the bracket too, I think, aren't you? Or no, I'm on the wrong side, sorry. I'm trying to click on the broadcast channel. There we go. All right. So Pac-Man gets a 1, and then Mike Tyson Punch-Out gets a 0. That's the only problem with this setup now. And then you hit submit scores. And then it goes in the system. There we go. All right. So, this is a biggie. You had to have played Guitar Hero once or twice, right?
Yeah, I bought several versions for the kids I had at the time.
Okay, so Halo versus Guitar Hero. Who you got?
I played Halo a couple of times. But again, going back to kids of all ages.
Right.
People, not just kids.
Right.
People of all ages enjoyed Guitar Hero.
Indeed.
And oh, Lord, when they came out with Rock Band, and you could play the drums and the guitar
Rocksteady,
and
baby.
sing. Wow.
Rocksteady.
Yeah, Guitar Hero is my pick.
My friend Michael Wistock is the king of Halo. He has owned every Halo since it's been played. They used to have a great gaming. I mean, he may still, but he used to have a great gaming session every Saturday night. I think it was at 9 o'clock Saturdays, or maybe it was at midnight. But I tried to join it. The time changes. The times were always bad. He is fantastic at Halo. Halo was a monster. My friend Eric Troutman, who's a comic book writer, worked on Halo. He has a great story about Halo. In the previous science fiction show podcast, we interviewed him about Halo. I love you, Eric. You're the best. You really are. Halo is a fantastic game. But that said, Guitar Hero was one of those games that really swept everybody by storm.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for the Eddie Van Halen Frankenstein guitar version of Guitar Hero, but I haven't found it yet. I picked Guitar Hero. So that's both of us, right?
That's both of us.
All right. So
when I was an Air Force spouse,
yeah,
working in Turkey at the BX,
right?
I busted a kid shoplifting Halo. That's my Halo story.
All right. So this is how we score it. You're getting to see that now.
I keep the tripod is right in front of the little microphone button, so I keep leaning to the right to see if
No, it's good. I've checked it a couple of times. PJ says Guitar Hero contributed to extending class. I agree. That's a great point, PJ. That brought Aerosmith and all those other songs to a new audience. That was a great thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So our next one is, and this is a tough one actually, Everquest versus Mortal Kombat. Now you could throw World of Warcraft in versus Everquest, but Everquest was the one that I thought of because it had a huge influence on me. My friend Dan Raines played it. He introduced it to me. Love that game. Mortal Kombat is one of those games that's pretty ephemeral. Who you got?
You know, that's one of the ones I had to look up is EverQuest, and so I don't know anything about EverQuest.
Okay.
Other than what I've read, which it was very popular among the massive multiplayer.
Massive multiplayer online, MMORPGs.
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
And so I give it props for that. Mortal Kombat, again, very popular at both the arcade and at home. This one is really a toss-up to me, personally. So I'll go with Mortal Kombat.
Well, I'm going with EverQuest. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to flip this bottle cap because the coin I'm sitting on.
I'm going to flip it.
You're going to flip it because that way it's fair. So this is actually, you're going to see a live coin flip right now, except if you're frozen. It looks like we dropped a few frames, but the data rate's still good, so hopefully it'll come back for you. All right, go ahead and flip that bitch.
Wait, which one is you?
I'm always tails.
You're not going to like this. I can feel it.
You can already feel it. All right, so it's heads, so that means Mortal Kombat moves on. So I will move Mortal Kombat on here. Give me 1 second. La, la, la. EverQuest.
See, that's why I don't try to predict what we will think.
That's the great part of the bracket when you win a T-shirt is you just never know how it's going to go.
And somebody always gets mad, and we don't care, really.
No, well, I mean, I don't think
we care.
Sorry, Terry. I know. I was with you. I was an EverQuest fan there, so... All right, last of the playing rounds. Legend of Zelda, which is legendary, and Counter-Strike, which is also legendary for other reasons. Who you got?
Counter-Strike is another one I had to look up.
Oh, did you? Okay.
I did. Now, it looks to me like it's another Halo. It's another
it's a
warfare.
It's a first-person shooter.
It's a first-person shooter, which I generally like.
Right.
But as you said in your little intro there, Legend of Zelda is legendary.
Indeed.
So I'm going with Zelda.
As am I. That's not even a question.
As is Terry.
I have played. Well, see, Terry knows how to pick good quality stuff. So.
And PJ.
I have an admittance here. I've never played Legend of Zelda, not once. But I totally dig on it, and I totally dig on the vibe and the whole thing. I was more of a Counter-Strike, first-person Diablo, first-person shootery type stuff. I played the original X-Wing simulator. Pete is, what are you doing?
I'm taking a picture so we can use it in promotions. Leave me alone.
All right, I thought as much. Anyway, Zelda wins that round, and we are now into round 2. So here's how round 2 shapes up. Now you're putting up against the Titans. You've got Madden Football versus Pac-Man. That's a good one. Space Invaders versus Guitar Hero. Super Mario versus Mortal Kombat. And Minecraft versus Legend of
You're
Zelda.
talking about the computer game, right?
Right. So before we go on, before you say anything, before you comment in the comments area, I know. There have been a shit ton of video games made since 1990, whatever. I mean, that count as sort of, the games, not Pong. I get Pong. Pong was the first video game.
Yes.
And Asteroids and Space Invaders and Zaxxon and Galaga and Call of Duty. And, I mean, there's a lot of games here. I get it. But we have this much time. And we could have made a round of 64. Was that 6 inches? 8 inches. That's 8 inches. All right. So we get it. We could have made a round of 64 of these, and I appreciate that. But I had to pick 12 before I went on vacation, and these are the 12 I picked. Centipede, exactly. Frogger, Q*bert. So many games, right? But I had to pick 12 before I went on vacation because it was my bracket to fulfill. And I have fulfilled.
Did you have an Atari 2600?
Of course I did. I have owned... okay, so let's be clear. I have owned every gaming system with the exception of a ColecoVision. I owned Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Intellivision. I have owned Sega Genesis. I mean, almost all of them. It's stupid. So, yes, I've owned all of those. And then I owned... From the start, I owned a TI-99, VIC-20, Commodore 64. I used all of the TRS-80 computers that were in my gifted and talented education class.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, see?
Hey, PJ, hold your horses.
Great choice. I couldn't put it in the bracket, though.
Yeah. No, I get it. And again, I go back to, man, I can remember being at Scott Air Force Base in junior high where I met JB.
Yep.
He was my baseball coach. And
we had a few drop frames. We should be back on now, Dad.
And we would go swimming in the summer at the base pool, and during Adult Swim, which is a thing,
right?
We would go over.
It's also a great TV show.
Yes, it is. We would go over to the base terminal where they had an arcade, get something to eat, and spend lots of quarters on the Zaxxons and the Donkey Kongs.
I love Zaxxon.
Yeah, I love it. Defender and Galaga.
Right.
There was a place, or there is, if it's still there, in Oklahoma City. I was there 2 years ago, where it's a big bar type place in Bricktown, in downtown Oklahoma City, and it's just an 80s arcade.
Right.
And you pay a $5 cover charge, and the games are free.
So again, there's a lot of ways we could have gone with this. This is the way we went with it. So we're just taking these 12, and it's not to say that these are the greatest video games of all time. Everybody has their opinion about that sort of stuff, but these are the games that are in the fight to get you a T-shirt. And that's what really matters. So let's get back to it. Your first, we'll start from the bottom. Minecraft versus Legend of Zelda. Now, Annabelle loved Minecraft, and we actually have a Minecraft server set up in the house. My friends Yvonne and Mario have a Minecraft server that they play on. Minecraft is incredibly fun. Annabelle and I like to play in sandbox mode, which means you can basically do whatever you want. And so what we do is we sit together on the server, and we build structures together, and we talk, and it's a great way for us to bond and that sort of thing. But there's also the game itself where you can get attacked and you have to turn a piece of rock into a piece of flint and a piece of flint into this, and I totally dig all that and the innovation that's come up with it and so on and so forth. So do I. Actually, this would be my last one tonight. So I love
we have to take a time out so PG.
I love Minecraft, but that said, and it was sold. He sold it to Microsoft for something like $53 million.
Wow!
Developed. It's an 8-bit game. I mean, it's nuts. That said, Legend of Zelda is just again one of those video games that is. I mean, it comes up everywhere. It comes up in forums. It comes up in anecdotal conversation. It's just a big deal. But so is Minecraft. This is a tough one for me. But I would take Legend of Zelda.
I'll continue with Legend of Zelda as well. It's one of the OGs, and so yeah, I'm going with Legend of Zelda.
All right, that was easy.
PJ, better hurry.
No coin flip there for anybody, folks. So we will. I will mark that real quick as I do that. You need to do some kind of vamping when I'm marking stuff on the board. You should sing or something, like a "Hello, my baby, hello, my honey." Okay.
Well, I would have, but you did.
So Legend of Zelda moves on. So the next round matchup is Super Mario versus Mortal Kombat. And you know what I should do before that, though, is check on our
how we're doing.
It's something to do with the website. Okay. Anyway, let's see.
Terry's sending us YouTube links.
All right, Daniel Nathaniel. God, that guy can read our friggin' mind, man. He's in first. Ray's in second.
Right.
PJ's third. Let's Go is in fourth. Matt is in fifth. And then Snafu, again, I think it might be my dad. I'm not sure who Snafu is. He's got Halo. That's not my dad. He wouldn't pick Halo. I don't know. Maybe he would. Anyway, that's the way the predictions are going. And yeah, we're good to go. So let's see. I have no fucking idea why it's meeting. It's just so strange. All right, we're going to figure out the muting thing for the next
Terry,
podcast.
He was talking so much shit about you, too. while we were muted, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was bad. Sorry,
Terry.
Actually, what I said was that we started the podcast because we wanted to talk about our COVID situation here in Germany, and then we sort of added on to it. And now we're just two guys in red shirts and recliners. So, all right. So
Not
anyway,
always. We just start tonight. So
it has something to do with when I click on the browser and I switch windows and then it mutes. So we're just not going to do that anymore. Or if we do, we'll figure it out. Anyway.
So we're at Super Mario.
Super Mario versus Mortal Kombat. Who you got?
I got...
Mortal Kombat is a popular fighting... But there's been a lot of those, like Tekken. If you know... like Mortal Kombat style fighting games, post them in the comments because I can't remember them all. Mortal Kombat, Tekken, there's been like 3 or 4 others. So they don't really stick out to me. Super Mario is like, oh, it's Super Mario. It's very distinctive to me. Like
very distinct. And again, a game a lot of different age brackets can play.
Right.
So that's where I'm going. I'm going Super Mario.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because I believe it's more popular. It's popular.
Mario is OG. Hell to the yes.
OG, yes.
Hell to the yes. All right.
Is this the first time Terry's listened?
It is. I think it is. I mean, she may have listened before, but she's been commenting wildly.
So listen again.
It's good to have her along.
Thanks for listening, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. We pretty much. And any new listener, again, we've been above 10 viewers the entire time. That's good for us.
Nice.
Street Fighter. Thank you, Daniel. Yes. That's a good one. So, all right.
And Daniel's a consistent listener. Maybe because he wants to win the bracket.
He wins like T-shirts every week.
But no, he doesn't.
He's brilliant.
We're not sending him a T-shirt every week.
No, he only gets one. One a month at the most. All right. So, Space Invaders versus Guitar Hero. So
this one's tough.
So Space Invaders, OG game.
This one's tough for me.
From Stand Up Arcade, which my friend Michael, he's got like a Stand Up Tron game. He's got a few others in his house. Very cool. But yeah, Space Invaders, OG stand-up game. Truly, when I was in Spring Valley, I mentioned Spring Valley earlier, they had a great arcade that people would go and get stoned and then go play video games at, right? And Space Invaders, Asteroids, and then they still had pinball machines back then. But Space Invaders was a big, big part of this.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a big, big game. Guitar Hero... That said, again, because of the hardware, because of the music and everything else, it had an effect on South Park, which hey, South Park, what are you going to do? And so this is tough for me. I'll leave it to you to decide first.
You cut your teeth standing at the arcade and playing Space Invaders.
If you're old like us.
Now, the funny thing is, our daughters would...
Oh, they don't have a lot of gray hair.
What are you saying?
It's brown. I got a lot of brown hair. Like my dad, he's kept his hair, and it's been the same color most of the time.
Fuck you.
Thank you, Dad. I appreciate that gene.
Hair. Some bitch. Anyway.
It's a good looking head of hair.
We done?
Yeah, go.
Okay. Space Invaders, I've got your daughter, my daughter, who's older than your daughter, would look at Space Invaders today and go,
the fuck? That's what they'd go, yeah.
Well, I know my daughter would.
I know my daughter would actually too.
What, how do you play? How do you even compete with that? And yet I'm going with Space Invaders. I'm going with the OG, and I won't say that every time.
So I think
it's.
And by the way, if you have a favorite video game and you're watching right now, type it in so we can see it. Because it may not be on the list, and I want to know what your favorite video game is. So type it in, let us know in the comments.
Keep sliding down.
So we can see it. But Yeah, I agree with you. What I was going to say is, I think a great game just incorporates certain elements, and you like playing it or you like watching it.
I mean, Galaga was...
I know, right? Look at all this full head of hair, PJ. I mean, it is luxurious and brown, and I've actually let it grow out a little. I haven't got a haircut in a while, so... But look at this. Look at this here. This is like the Tropic of Capricorn right here.
PJ's not one
There's some there's some shipping going through here that needs to be taxed. I mean, that's how big it is. So, anyway, so what I was saying is, I think great games are the most simplistic ones, and I think Space Invaders is one of those. It's like aliens descending on you, shoot them. Simple game, right? So, but who you got?
I'm going with Space Invaders.
All right, I'm going with Space Invaders too. So that makes this a hell of a lot easier. All right, so Space Invaders moves on. Guitar Hero says bye-bye.
Not that I didn't like Guitar Hero.
No, Guitar Hero was good, but I just don't think it has the gravitas.
I tell you what, my daughter at the time had a...
Oregon Trail, great game. You have died of dysentery. If you played Oregon Trail,
I did not.
You know what that is.
My daughter, speaking of my daughter, had... when we first got... Or when Santa Claus first got Guitar Hero...
Yeah.
Brought it to the house.
Yeah.
She had a broken wrist from a trampoline issue. So she learned to play Guitar Hero left-handed.
Oh, wow.
So she could work the buttons with her right hand and the cast.
Oh, Hendrixy, Zork, good one.
Yeah. So kudos to Cassidy.
Kudos to Cassidy for having a great dad, too. Okay, so the last round is Pac-Man and Madden Football.
This one hurts.
So I can't even begin to tell you the influence that... Oh, we just dropped some data. I'm just watching it now. So that means your screen's probably frozen, so we apologize for your frozen screen. But if not, Qbert. I think I said Qbert earlier, didn't I?
I don't think you said Qbert.
Pac-Man, yeah. So,
Centipede.
So Terry's vote is Pac-Man, but... So let's get to this. I have played Madden Football since Madden Football was Madden Football.
I have off and on. Yeah.
I've not every version, because lately the versions are basically just the same, but they add in some stupid like put on your pants mode. Here's what you can now put on your pants the same way Tom Brady does, or they just put in some stupid fucking, it's really bothersome. So, but it's still a fantastic game. It is still the game that all other football games are measured by. So when I was younger, in the 90s, I used to run an online football league called the OFL. We used to play it through a game called Front Page Sports Football. My friend Henry Florsheim, who is the president of the Chamber of Commerce of Wichita Falls, he used to play with me, and we had a number of other people from the United States. To me, that was the best football game that was ever made, because you could draw up your own plays. It was very intricate. So it's like that baseball game that I play.
Right.
It's very detailed, right? Down to the
characters doing really well.
I'm just getting ready to start another season, actually. So you're right. So I like that. But that said, I've seriously.
No, we're dropping pretty good here.
No, we're back now. We had a bit of a drop earlier. We should be okay now. That said, Madden Football to me is just that string of I played tournaments in the dormitories when I became a new airman.
Sure.
I mean, I've lived and died at that game at certain points. So to me, it was a big deal. That said, Pac-Man is Pac-Man. I mean, who's the guy? Hey, does anybody know who wrote the Pac-Man Fever song? Somebody Google it for me real quick.
It was Shadow.
No, it wasn't Shadow Stevens. He was the giant. By the way, he was the biggest cocaine addict ever. Somebody Google the Pac-Man Fever song. But that said, Pac-Man is as ubiquitous in American culture as you'll ever get.
No, I
played enough Pac-Man to go crazy. But that said, if I were picking a game, I would pick Madden Football.
I think everything you said is exactly right. I dropped a lot of quarters into Pac-Man.
I got a pocket full of quarters, Emma.
Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr.
Right.
Probably could have phrased that
Someone's
a little bit
Googling
better.
this for us. I know they're going to find out first.
Madden Football, I bought a PS3, was my first big game system.
Was it really?
Yeah.
That's not too long ago.
It was...
Buckner and Garcia, that's it. Thank you.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terry.
Thank you, Harry.
She probably had that ready to go in her MIT mind too. Pac-Man was the game to play. Pac-Man is what on Ready Player One. But Madden was the first game I bought besides Tiger Woods Golf for the PS3. And then when I switched over, since I've been here within the last year, Christmas time, I bought a Xbox One.
Yes, you did.
And Madden was one of the first games I have. Besides,
you didn't buy the golf game?
Besides
golf
Sniper
club?
League, not yet.
It's fantastic. I'm gonna play when you leave. It's fantastic. Okay, so pick.
Well, then I may not leave.
We're going on an hour and a half now.
I'm going Madden.
All right, that was easy. So Pac-Man drops out. Sorry if you had Pac-Man.
Don't sell yourself short, Jerry.
But we do need to check on the predictions. So keep an eye on the.
I'm sorry.
Keep an eye on the mute button for me.
That is the problem with live and us sitting here. Or we're sitting here drinking. He's drinking beer. I'm drinking Diet Pepsi. Neither one's sponsoring the show. Damn it.
Belgian beer.
And so you may hear a burp or a stomach growl.
I haven't burped once.
Or maybe even us passing gas. But you never know. So, what you got?
All right, so I'm getting there. Hang on. So it may mute. Watch. Ha! Got it. All right. Let's take a look at the predictions.
Did you say hour and a half?
Let's make sure it's
How are people still with us?
It's a big show.
Wow.
But since we're not going to have two shows, we can afford it in our budget. Our Patreon is coming soon too, so you can contribute to the financial liability. Tudor Games Electric Football. No, I owned 3 of those, Joe. It's no joke. I love the vibrating. Oh, it's the best.
That should have been in town of board games.
Best.
Oh.
All right, so here's how we're doing on the predictions. Who is in the fucking lead? It's our friend PJ.
What? No.
Is in first. Daniel Nathaniel's in second. That is hard to say because he's never in second.
I hate saying PJ's
Ray's in third, and then we know the rest from there. So, all right.
I've known PJ for a long time, so I think I can give him all the shit I'm ready to give him.
That is pretty wild.
And because he'll give it right back. COVID, we have no life. I understand, Ray.
It was for us for a while. We knew that well. Okay.
If America would get their shit together.
It's the Final Four. Here's where we give away T-shirts. This is where we make our money. So again, if you do predict, and Terry, we do want you to put in your predictions, just remember the scores in the earlier rounds are smaller than the scores in the later rounds. So it matters more if you're getting it right in the later rounds than it does in the earlier rounds. So in other words, you could pick in the earlier rounds and be like, I nailed them all. But if you get the last one in the last round, that may mean that you're a victory. What are you doing?
I'm making sure it's not show related.
All right. Just making sure your inflatable doll's on the way, I'm sure. All right, let's take a look.
I had to order another one.
Everybody does. Madden Football versus Space Invaders. That's a good one. And Super Mario versus Legend of Zelda. So let's start with Super Mario versus Legend of Zelda. I'm basically frozen up on this one. This is very difficult.
I played a lot more Super Mario than I also figured out that with the camera like this, I can't adjust myself. So
don't do that.
I think I did it once. Sorry.
Because I'm trying to maintain a balance of sexiness from here up and then ambiance of the set. Right?
Yeah, no, I get it.
All right, good.
I get it.
Go ahead.
My legs aren't quite as long as yours.
Oh, my God, my legs hurt. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, you already with the excuse for golf.
Bitch, I'm golfing tomorrow. I don't care how much it hurts. Go.
What we say? I'm going with Super Mario.
You're going with Super Mario.
Because I very seldom played Legend of Zelda. Super Mario, I played a lot more of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Super Mario has just had much more of a bigger influence on me. Legend of Zelda was always, I get it, hugely popular, but it was always more niche to me than Super Mario was. So I'm picking Super Mario with you. I agree with that.
Okay.
100%. So we don't want to see people to see process as we do that. So I'm marking the scores.
We have 2 weeks before our next bracket. And the next bracket's mine, right?
All the shit's yours next time, yeah. So you've got the quiz and the bracket.
Okay.
I can do the quiz. I'll think up some kind of quiz when we come back. So Super Mario moves on to the final. Now it's time for the last one of the Final Four. Madden Football versus...
That's pretty good.
If you keep doing the brum rumps. Anyway, Space Invaders versus Madden. It looks like we dropped again just for an instant. But we're coming back up on the data. Sorry for the freeze. So again, Madden Football versus Space Invaders. I'm picking Madden Football. And I know it's a tough one. But Madden Football has meant a lot to me in my life. I mean, a lot to me in my life. And I get that Space Invaders is just one of those core sort of games. But Madden Football is what I'm picking.
I'm going with Space Invaders.
Ooh, all right.
I'm going with Space Invaders because it's time in memoriam. It's still around. And, you know, we've mentioned Galaga a couple of times.
Yeah.
And that's basically Space
Zaxxon.
Invaders.
We had to fly the space shuttle through the brick walls. Remember that?
Yes, in 2D.
In three-quarter view.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you had the joystick, which I always loved. But Galaga is basically Space Invaders on steroids. So, which is why it came out.
And it made it into the Avengers, right? That man over there is playing Galaga.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes. Are you flipping?
I'll flip this time. So this is Keith's side, just so you know. And I have the side that has nothing on it. All right, you ready?
As you should.
All right.
Catch it. All right. God, that's a big-ass hand.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Damn it!
Madden Football moves on, sir.
Into the final round.
Into the final. Wah, wah.
It's the
I'm falling.
count.
That's Dawkin, by the way, if you've never heard Dawkin before. Dawkin is fantastic. All right. We have a final as we pass the 90-minute mark. 92 minutes now. This is a long show. You're welcome. Madden Football, the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, no less.
Wow.
Madden Football versus Super Mario. Who you got?
It's tough. Madden Football. Just because I like to play that better than Super Mario.
I'm conflicted here. This is tough.
Terry went with Mario.
All right, let's see. All right, if you're on, of the 8 of you who are on, give me your vote. Put it out there. If you made a prediction, just put it out there. Tell me what you got, because I need to make a decision. So Terry's got Mario. Let's see if we can get some other votes in. Dad, I know you don't know shit about video games, but just type in the word Mario or type in the word Madden, and then we'll know. So let's see if we can get them to do this.
It's football, Dad.
He's not a big football guy.
Jason's dad.
Madden, ha! Mario, good. All right. I like to be, let's see, I like peer pressure.
Terry said that was great.
Daniel Nathaniel says Mario, but I think that's what
I'm kind of curious of what she meant by that was great.
I'm not sure. She'll tell us. Chuck Ramey in the house.
Where did that come from?
Chuck is here. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you, my friend.
I will always vote against foot. You're dead to me, Terry.
I missed the VA a little bit. Now Chuck's here. Man.
No, Terry, you're not dead to me because we like you.
Joe Finkelstein says Madden. Okay. All right. I think that's a pretty good assessment so far.
Does that affect your choice?
You picked Madden.
I did pick Madden already, but I didn't need help. Oh, man playing Galaga.
That man over there is playing Galaga. Nobody know him. I did.
Are you going to flip? We're going to flip?
I picked Mario. Remember, I picked Mario.
He just jammed a bottle cap into my palm.
Like that's never happened to you. All right, flip the coin.
My palms are calloused.
Here we go.
You totally missed that.
He can't. By the way,
I looked up into the line.
Before we do this, you're going to flip again. Keith can't flip a coin. I don't know what it is. Keith cannot flip a coin. It's some sort of like thing. Like he can drive. Like he can hit a golf ball really well. I mean, he's broken 100, so. But he can't flip a coin worth a shit.
It's like playing softball for me. I was a shortstop, and I could catch anything but a date. But I never knew where it was going when I threw it.
Couldn't catch a cold.
It would be hard and fast when I threw it.
Couldn't catch a date.
Yeah,
that's why you order inflatable dolls. All right, so here's the flip. Go ahead. See?
It's the flipping process.
God, you are horrible. What is it?
I forgot what. Oh.
You're the good side. Damn.
Madden football. Is that really a loss, though?
Madden football is your winner. I don't know why I thought it was Super Mario.
Is that really a loss, though? I mean,
No, but I mean, I think people's brackets counted on Madden football.
Here, I
so,
got it. Here.
Again, what?
2 out of 3?
No, we're not doing 2 out of 3. It's always
because I won again.
Madden football is your bracket winner for this week. Let's see.
TikTok. Who's it going to be?
Hang on. I got to switch this and get back over here. Oh, it didn't mute.
It didn't mute.
Switch over. That's the key. Do it while it's not on screen. Okay. Let's see who our winner is this week. The winner is... Oh, wait. Sorry. I didn't...
Wow.
I am not very
That's what this
smart.
Terry, thanks for watching for the first time.
6 brackets.
That's what this show is all about.
Let's see who the winner is.
We laugh, we make
Survey
fun of each other.
says
Da-da-da-da-da.
PJ won the bracket.
He doesn't get another shirt, though.
I'm Batman. Has won. DN3 is second. Ray is third. And then everyone follows after that. Congratulations, PJ. Don't we already owe you a shirt?
PJ.
I think we already owe you a shirt.
We do already owe him a shirt.
But if we do, so you can't, we got to, you don't need 2 shirts. So I think you're good to go. And, if you keep winning shirts, we'll figure out another gift to give you at another time. So thank you all for who predicted. Thank you all for playing along and adding comments as we went. That was a fun part of that.
That was fun.
That was really fun.
Again, kudos where they're deserved. This new setup we're doing for the first time tonight is fantastic.
I love it.
It is literally basically what we're doing in the office when we first thought about it.
Joe, I'll send you a T-shirt. Send me a message with your size. I got you. Any final thoughts? We need to wrap this up.
No, again, I like this. We're off for the next 2 weeks. Disregard what's down there.
We're back.
We'll be back
after
on
this.
the 21st.
Right.
And
hang on. Let me look at my phone. Let's help people. Let me help you. Let us help. What is the phrase?
Let us help you help us.
That's it. Something like that. All right. Let me look at my calendar.
Been drinking Belgian beer.
It's good beer, man. All right.
The other one wishes I could.
So, as a reminder, no show on the 14th or the 18th. There will be a show on the 21st. That'll be the Tuesday audio only, and Keith will have a very good quiz for us. And then we will be back with our next live show right here from these recliners on the 25th, it looks like.
25th, okay.
So we'll be back on the 25th right here. We want you all to come back. Tell a friend. This is a lot of fun.
Please share.
If there's something you'd like us to talk about, send us that. We would love to debate that. But again, we're going to wait a week to do it.
PJ says he sweats a lot watching these brackets. Let's face it, PJ. Let's be real. You sweat a lot getting out of your recliner.
He just sweats a lot anyway, right?
He's kind of a sweater.
I need that on a shirt. He's kind of a sweater. All right, so one more time. No show on the 14th, no show on the 18th. We'll come back and see you.
We said that, Terry. We said don't pay attention to that. And I'm not pointing at his crotch. Don't pay attention to...
I can't change... I'm not going to change the caption because it might mute the show again. So just, Yeah, I know, Terry. I know. Don't be pedantic. I got it. It was... I was thinking 2 weeks ahead instead of 1. I thought I was going to be on vacation longer in the place I'm going to, which is beautiful. You'll see the photos on my timeline. Anyway, thank you all for joining us. It was great to see Chuck Ramey for the first time. Great to see Terry Sentner for the first time. My good friend Terry. What?
Ray just agreed with me about PJ. So
that he's a sweater?
That he's a sweater.
That's awesome. His own wife said he's a sweater.
She's a sweetheart.
That is fantastic.
He's an asshole, but she's a sweetheart.
All right, let's wrap this up. First of all,
see you in a week.
Be quiet. You can subscribe on iTunes, first of all. Please do that. Subscribe, leave a review. Tell me I drank too much Belgian beer. I've had 2, whatever. You can listen to us on Spotify, but also I'd recommend that you listen to Aaron Kusterer on Spotify and his new single, Breathless, which is amazing. You can also catch us on Google Play, iHeartRadio, radio.com, and a couple of other places. So if you have a favorite among one of those, pick one, listen to us, leave a review, leave a comment or something. Again, that just helps boost us in the algorithm. It gets us a few more listens, aside from what we do on Reddit as well. What am I forgetting? Is that it?
I don't think so.
All right, I've been through the advertisers. You know about my book. Buy my book, please. It is... I think you'll really like it. It's a surprise. I think it surprised him. I was very grateful that he bought it, but I was very surprised by his reaction. So that was very cool. He didn't just go interesting, which means I don't give a fuck. Generally, you were very generous with your comments, so I appreciate that. So anyway, yes, Dad, we'll get Keith to practice the coin flip. He'll do that while he's at work this week. Thank you all for joining us. We very much appreciate that you were here tonight. We will see you again on the 25th? No, 21st for the audio-only show, and Keith will be back for that quiz. Let's wave bye-bye, as the Clash said.
Get well soon, Mom.